Welcome to episode 112 of the All the Books Show, the official podcast of the David A. Howe Public Library and Angelica Radio Show.
That's right.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock you can find us on the Angelica Radio Show. Have you actually heard us?
What's the station?
92.7.
92.7
I love
FM?
it. Yeah.
FM?
Yeah. Whenever I've been that way, I'm like, oh my gosh, look what time it is. You know, I've heard it a few times and it's always startling. Once I was coming back from a convention and just like doing a searching through the channels and all of a sudden there we were. Yeah. It was pretty fun. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Here's why you're going to hear us on the radio.
Yeah.
Because I'm Eric Mickles.
And I'm Nick Gunning.
And we talk about book news, author news, and literary news.
Mm-hmm. Today we're going to get a little spooky.
Yeah. It's spooky outside, man. This is like quintessential Halloween weather.
You're
Look
right.
at it.
I know.
It's gray skies.
There's a
it's
mist
misty.
rolling in.
Right. It's not raining, but it's misty.
Yeah.
You feel like you need to wear a coat and some garlic around your neck.
Exactly. That would be helpful. This is not our in-depth Halloween episode, but we are going to point you in the direction of some of the best spooky fiction that's come out in 2017. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Right now, let's talk about what we've been reading. I got through some stuff. What about you?
I also got through some stuff.
Take it away.
Okay. Let me remember what I got through. Hold on, I just realized my shirt's unbuttoned at this one level. Does that ever happen to you?
Strange.
I mean, that happens to you.
I'm pretty put together.
You have every button buttoned, and then you look down, and somehow the middle button is just like,
yes,
hey,
it happens. It happens. All right, why don't I tell you what I've read? How about that?
Okay, well, I just had mine open right here. So.
I finished a few graphic novels. I read volume 6 of All New X-Men. Pretty good. I still like that. It's a fun time travel series. I'm still liking it. It's getting a little crazy with all the crossovers, but you know. Yeah. I read
it's definitely a time travel story.
Graphic novel adaptation of Star Wars The Force Awakens. And in
a graphic novel?
Yeah.
Oh.
And what's going to surprise you? Nothing new.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
Hey, but I guess you could say that about Force Awakens.
Oh.
Take that, J.J. Abrams.
I don't understand. I don't understand your feelings about that movie. But we don't have to get into that now.
It's fine.
I love it.
Seen it.
I thought it was great.
Yeah. Hey, the thing is,
I thought it was a perfect restart.
I like A New Hope, but it's also a slow 70s film.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that movie with today's pacing.
Yeah. It definitely calls back. I mean, it homages that movie quite a lot, but I think it stands on its own.
I guess I just
think
don't see how J.J. Abrams just seems to take other people's storyboards and put in different actors. And he's like, look at that, I'm a director!
Wow.
Ah!
Pretty harsh on J.J. Abrams. Yeah. Anyway, I did enjoy the graphic novel. It like I said, it doesn't. Sometimes with novelizations,
did you figure out who Snoke was?
Even graphic novelizations, they take you in little corners that you didn't get before. This was very like paint by numbers of the movie, but I liked the story, so it was just fun to see it in a different way. I'm getting excited about episode 8.
When the first X-Men movie came out,
yes,
that graphic novel is very much that way, just like scene for scene. It was just the movie. Like they could have just taken stills from the movie, just put out word bubbles. Though they had some prequels, I think. Oh yeah, prequel comics, so you could see what Sabretooth was doing before the movie.
Yeah, they're doing that more and more now. Like
prequel
with
ones,
with the prequels, a lot of times they're terrible. But you know, I'll tell you what's a weird novelization: Back to the Future. Because that movie went through so many draft changes. Oh, yeah. Originally, the time machine was a refrigerator.
It was still a refrigerator in the book, right?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, but there was a lot of throwbacks.
They kept calling it a DeLorean, but it was a refrigerator.
It was the DeLorean of refrigerators.
Yeah, sure.
And then finally, I finished Gwen DeBond's third Lois Lane book, Triple Threat, which I don't know. Yeah. I'm sort of over the series now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think anyone's gotten into the series.
I don't know if there is a book 4.
Right.
But I would probably not read it.
Okay.
I guess it started just Lois Lane is a cool character. You know,
yeah,
she's like an iconic,
no arguments,
80-year-old character, and she has she's tough. You know, she gets the job done.
Yeah.
She's just a strong character, and she sort of starts
doesn't
that
return
way,
my calls,
and then just gets kind of like all gooey about Clark, and it's just
Clark
sort of
Kent
like
being the character Superman.
Yeah, it's like she doesn't have to be that. I mean, she can like him, but she
Yeah.
doesn't have to just sort of like forget all this other stuff. I'm a girl. I just thought it was kind of a disservice to like the character and girls who'd be reading that. I mean, it's a teen series, you know. Right. So I don't know. I didn't really like it.
The Superman animated series of the 90s,
which is sad,
never did any like romantic connections between Lois Lane and Clark Kent or / Superman, probably until like maybe the middle of the second season, but it was an alternate reality Superman that she kissed. Okay. And then it just didn't carry over.
Nothing.
And so it wasn't until like Justice League that people were like, oh, they're a couple.
They're a thing.
So it was kind of, you'd watch it. It's like, there's a good like professional rivalry between the two, but there's no like that romantic dynamite.
Well, Smallville, Erica Durance is a great Lois, like tough and strong, but there is like a season where she's really like, oh, Clark, I love you, and gets all like mopey.
Yeah.
Lois and Clark did a pretty good job with it. Yeah. Superman Returns was the worst.
Look, I brought up the Superman 90s cartoon, so
yeah.
I can understand why you brought up Smallville and then Lois and Clark.
Yeah.
So I get it.
That's the end of the sentence.
That's the end of it. You brought up. I feel like we just had a very in-depth Lois.
The
and Clark
relationship in Man of Steel is out of nowhere.
Ugh,
it's a shocking moment that makes
Steel.
no sense.
I won't talk about the '90s cartoon.
Okay, all right.
If you want to talk,
I'm currently reading, to answer your question,
the novelization of Man of Steel.
The novels, I've read that.
Yeah.
No, I'm currently reading Ghost Story by Peter Straub. It started in a very intriguing way. There's a prologue that I was like totally into, and then it just took a direction that I did not anticipate, and I was like, what? And now like the main story started, and so I'm intrigued.
Nice.
I'm intrigued, my friend.
I have to read that still.
This
I'm
is yes,
for
you
my wife
do.
To finish
yes,
yeah,
I know. Copies are scarce.
Yeah,
but this is our book club book for Halloween. We're doing 2 Halloween book clubs: Joyce Carol Oates' Jack of Spades and Peter Straub's Ghost Story. So join us for both. Yeah. I'm also reading Fantastic Four Volume 8, Devils. Mm-hmm. So that's it for me right
now. Fantastic Four.
Nice Fantastic Four, yes.
Nice try. Yep. Like I wasn't going to catch you on that.
No, I never suspected. What are you reading and have read?
Thank you for that one, because I have read. I finished The Three-Body Problem. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've mentioned that I finished the book here.
No.
So I did. I finished The Three-Body Problem by... Oh, man.
No.
I should just tattoo the name.
I even went first, so we didn't have to do
Lao
this.
Sinzin.
Okay.
So it was a longer book, very dense. The twist / main plot of the book, and probably the trilogy, doesn't happen until maybe like the last fourth of the book.
That's quite a ways.
It's this type of story now.
That is quite a ways, my friend.
And then, like, I was reading it, and it's hard science fiction.
Okay.
But I was like, I'm doing okay. I understand most of what they're talking about. At least, basic concepts.
Right.
And then the last fourth, when it reveals, and they just get into all these, what was it? Particle physics, I think it was.
Okay.
Where they're talking about the physics of protons and folding them. And it's just like the last... however long that lasted, I was like, I don't know what you're saying.
That was hard for me to listen to.
Yeah.
And I'm just right here.
So, but I still enjoyed it. I would read the series still.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's a twist right there.
Yeah. It just took me a while to get through. But like I said, I think I said it last time, while reading it, I never wasn't enjoying it.
Okay.
Like it was always a good time.
All right.
So it just took me a while to get through that good time.
Yeah.
But you know what? Nothing wrong with a party that doesn't end. Actually, Slurms McKenzie from Futurama would argue. He's so very tired of partying. I read Suicide Squad, Volume 3, Burning Down the House.
Of Rebirth.
Rebirth, yeah.
Squad. Okay.
What did I gave it 3 stars. I can't remember anything about it, though.
Okay.
So, I really can't. Oh, wait. Yes, I can. It's fine. That's what it is. The series is just fine. It's sugar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Honey Bunch.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I read for my Halloween reading,
Ooh.
Day by Day Armageddon.
Oh yeah, I saw you reading that. What is that?
It's a zombie book.
Oh, gross.
You're gross.
Well, I didn't say you were gross.
Oh, well, you implied it. So, Day by Day Armageddon by J.L. Bourne. So, the J might stand for Jason, for all I know.
It might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This is like a smaller publisher that put this book out.
Okay.
It's written as journal entries.
Okay. That's a tough sell.
Yes.
That's
but here's
easy
the thing.
To be real bad.
I think it's a zombie book that's being sold on being journal entries.
Okay.
And like that's the big like why it's different than other stuff. And the writing,
I mean, that sounds pretty similar to World War Z.
Yeah, World War Z was interviews, which is nice.
Okay.
Because you get this back and forth. But this journal entry, it's just the writer, J.L. Bourne.
Okay.
Not a good writer.
Ooh.
And I don't know if he's writing the character as somebody who might not be a good writer, but it's very amateurish. It's very teen writing, like their first teen writing class kind of writing. And it's not like I read it in huge chunks, but nothing happens
Okay.
really. The journal entries make it easier to read because they're smaller entries, so you kind of like fly through it.
It's easier to track progress that
Right,
way.
but it's not necessarily
That's the James Patterson method right there.
right. But it's not. What's the word? It's not enthralling. I wasn't staying because of the writing, and it was better at the beginning as like this zombie apocalypse is starting.
Okay.
And he's writing about things falling apart and preparing and stuff like that. Stuff that cause and effect stuff always intrigues me. I always like seeing cause and effect in stories like that. But then once the apocalypse is just in full swing, it's just the character. It's just very, very boring, very repetitive. Just explaining everything in the minute detail, no real like psychological look at the characters going through this. Like every now and then he's writing about flying a helicopter, and then there's one line he's like, I don't know why I'm still going, and then but there's no, he doesn't expand on any of
Neither
that.
do we.
Yeah, and then it ends with they get to like a military base and it ends with some people trying to take it over, and he stops those people, and then just ends. But it's an ongoing series.
Weird.
So there's no closure at the end.
Okay.
But there's also no cliffhanger. So it just ends.
Weird.
But it keeps going. So I thought like while reading it, like, yeah, I'll keep reading this series, but I have a feeling like the writing style isn't going to change.
Yeah.
And so it's rough. It was rough stuff.
It is rough.
So
So your Halloween reading is not off to a good
it's not
start.
something I would recommend. If somebody was saying, what's a good zombie book to read for somebody who hasn't read any of that, I would always pick World War Z or even the Zombie Survival Guide, which is like written as nonfiction, but it's funny.
Okay. It sounds hilarious.
Well, it's it's interesting, but
Okay.
I wouldn't even recommend Day by Day Armageddon to somebody who read World War Z. So that's how I feel.
Well, if you got nothing nice to say,
I
keep
say it
going.
on a
Keep
podcast,
telling me
yeah.
all about it.
And then
yeah.
I started. Hold on, I got the author.
Okay.
Boop, 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 boop. If you could just
So
vamp.
why exactly did I go first so that you could figure this out? I'm trying to remember. Okay.
You just Lovecraft Country.
Yes.
By Matt Ruff.
Yeah.
It's rough like a dog would say rough.
Okay.
Like Ruff.
Sure.
Not rough.
I
Just
understand.
Rough.
Yeah.
Like a dog would say.
You've made that clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so Lovecraft Country is about it's about both Lovecraftian scary stuff, but also racism in 1950s America.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's applicable to today or anything.
No.
But so
course.
this character, I believe that the character is Atticus.
Okay.
But I could be wrong about that because I only read like the first 20 pages so
All
far.
right.
He's coming up from the South to work with his dad and everything, but he found out his dad went to go find his mother's roots.
Okay.
Because she didn't know. So he goes to Massachusetts. And so now the son is going to have to go find his dad. And from the summary of it, the dad has been like, kidnapped by this cult that lives there.
Okay.
And so there's that racism, but there's also that Lovecraftian cultness. But H.P. Lovecraft himself was a huge racist. he did a poem.
Wow.
He did a poem on the origins of people of color, and it is a pretty nasty poem.
Yuck.
So he's a pretty terrible fellow, H.P. Lovecraft.
Okay.
But it's funny because his father has dyslexia. So
Father of the character?
The father of the character has
Okay.
dyslexia. So where he wrote "I'm going here," the son read it as Arkham, which is Arkham Horror, which is H.P. Lovecraft stuff, but it's actually Arnhem,
see.
Massachusetts. So it's I think it's going to be playing a lot with like, is this H.P. Lovecraft stuff real?
Is it the real life or is it fantasy?
Yeah. So the cover, even my wife had to ask me because she was looking at the cover. She's like, "So is that Ghost on the cover or is it KKK?"
Right.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's the second one.
Right.
But I think it's supposed to insinuate that it could be both.
Oh, it sounds interesting, actually.
So I'll talk about it more once I've read it and really see like how far it goes.
Sounds
like
good.
it might be one of those things where it's like everything is supernatural, but then the twist is everything's not.
Everything's
like
not,
in like
sure.
a Sherlock Holmes movie.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a pleasant read.
Yeah.
But I meant to read it last year. But here we go.
All right.
Lovecraft Country.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
For your Halloween reads.
Yeah.
What else do you have lined up for Halloween? You got to read Ghost
I got to
Story.
read Ghost Story.
Yeah.
And depending on how long Ghost Story takes me, I don't know. I still have to read more of the I Am Not a Serial Killer books
And
by
The
Dan Wells.
Wolfen. Don't forget the
Oh,
Wolfen.
and the Wolfen. Yeah, we added the Wolfen to
Yeah.
my. Yeah.
Yeah,
depending on how quick
I've
that
got to
is.
finish Ghost Story, and if I have time,
Yeah.
I'm sort of depending how quickly I finish this, because I want to read Sleeping Beauty, Stephen and Owen King's new book.
Right.
But that's like 600 pages.
Yeah.
So if this gets me right up to the end, I might read Gwendy's Button Box, the other recent
This
Stephen
is the
King.
first Halloween
Yeah.
since 2013 that you and I haven't read a Stephen King book together.
Let's do it. Gwendy's Button Box.
We did The Shining in a book club.
Yeah.
Then you and I both read Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep.
And then the next one I read Salem's Lot, and so did you, because we were doing it for a library book club.
Yeah.
And then last Halloween, you and I both read Pet Sematary. So
do you want to do, well, let's pick one. Do you
Yeah.
want to do Gwendy's Button Box or Sleeping Beauties?
I want like an actual scary one, I guess.
Aren't those
like
both scary?
Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about
Okay.
Stephen King's new
What do you
stuff.
want? Dead Zone?
That's probably a quick one, right?
I don't know.
It's too bad you read Carrie. I might have read Carrie.
Go ahead.
But you already read it.
So we can talk about it.
All right.
You going to read Carrie?
Maybe. I didn't realize how it was written. So
Okay.
that might be interesting.
Okay,
Was
cool.
it scary?
It's atmospheric.
It's his first book, right?
Yeah, it's
right.
very atmospheric.
All right.
I don't think you're going to be like scared to go to bed at night.
Yeah. Well,
You know.
I'm scared to go to bed at night most nights.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, we're going to figure this out, and then we'll talk about it
Okay.
later. Okay. Well, in book news, I've got two things I want to mention before we get into new releases. A while back, I don't remember what episode it was, but the Women's Prize for Fiction was announced, and the winner was The Power by Naomi Alderman. Now, at the time, it had not been published yet. It has since been published in the last week, and our copy is on the way here. So if you're interested in that, we're going to have it here, and you can check it out. The second thing I want to mention was last night, Eric and I and Kate Miller and Nikki Gordon here from the David A. Howe Public Library attended the STLS annual meeting.
Yeah.
And Nikki and Kate both won scholarships through STLS to go to the New York Library Association conference in Saratoga Springs, which happens every year. Eric and I have both gone. We've both been past scholarship.
You went the year before I did, and
Yep.
then I went the next year.
Yep. And so Nikki and Kate won these scholarships, so they get to go. So thank you to STLS for one. Congratulations to Kate and Nikki. Not only do they get to go, but this is the first conference for both of them.
Yeah.
So I usually enjoy them. You know, whenever I go, I love the vendor room, you know, where you see like all sorts of new product and stuff. A lot of times new book samples and that sort of thing. So I think they're going to have a great time. And you learn a lot. And it's good to like meet other people who are doing the same thing. So we did that. But I also wanted to mention a couple other award winners from our county. Melanie Miller, the director of the Alfred Box of Books, also won a scholarship to that. And the Box of Books won the Grassroots Award for their new LGBTQ collection of materials.
Right.
So congratulations to Melanie and the Box of Books. And the Cuba Library won for Best Library Volunteer. So we've got some pretty great volunteers. So
Yeah. It was a tough race.
We'll see. We'll see. No, but congratulations going out to all of them.
Yeah.
And let's look at what is coming out.
This is part of the still bookmark, I think. You and I both watched the Salem's Lot miniseries from 2004.
Yes, we
with
did.
Rob Lowe and Donald
Lowe.
Sutherland.
Yeah.
So, and what's his name? Rupert what's the vampire?
Rucker Hauer.
Rucker Howard.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
We have that here in our collection.
90-minute episodes.
Yeah.
So it's still pretty short for like a miniseries.
Yeah, 3 hours. 3 hours. It's a long movie.
Yeah, it really was.
But it was very good.
Yeah. James Cromwell? Is that
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was good in that too.
Yeah, it was the priest.
Yeah, so it wasn't a bad adaptation.
No, it wasn't. It stays pretty close to the book.
Yeah.
A few changes here and there that we talked about. But yeah, I'd recommend it.
And yeah.
That and the Bag of Bones miniseries
Yeah.
are both really good adaptations. So check out either of those.
Okay, so now to book news.
Let's do it. Well, as we're preparing for our 2017 author visit with
Whoa.
Naomi Shihab Nye, looking back at our 2016 author visit with Alexander McCall Smith, his new book, The House of Unexpected Sisters, which is number 18 in the number one ladies detective agency, is coming out. Precious Ramatswe and Grace Makutsi investigate a new mystery in this latest installment of the irresistibly charming, perennially best-selling number one ladies detective agency series. That was all very hard to say.
Yeah.
This is a series that I really warmed to. We read the first one for a book club, and I hated it.
Yes.
I think, it's one of those things you have expectations. You hear detective agents, you really think it's going to be a detective story. And they're not so much.
Right.
Like, there is a mystery, but it's more just like the whole picture. So once you know that.
Would you say you warmed to it in like a cozy blanket?
Yeah.
And you got cozy?
I did real cozy. Yeah, because of like a cozy mystery.
Thank you.
Is that what you mean?
That is what I meant.
Oh,
everybody.
okay.
Yes.
It was so subtle. I wasn't sure. So I've read. This is the only series that I've done this with, but I've read like scattered volumes.
It is not the only series. Didn't you
this
do that with the
series.
Jack Reacher series?
No, I read the Jack Reacher in order, but I did read one prequel before I was really there.
All right, so maybe this is the
timeline.
only series you've got.
Yeah,
like that.
you know what? Stone Barrington. Because
That's-
I picked up random Stone Barringtons, like
Okay.
at thrift shops or whatever. But I plan to read this. I feel like I'm Burgess Meredith in the Twilight Zone, where like all I want to do is read books. I never have the time.
Yes, yeah.
So this book coming out reminds me of that as well,
It
because
was time.
I want to read Origin by Dan Brown.
Uh-huh.
I want to read Sleeping Beauties, as I mentioned. I want to read House of Unexpected Sisters, and I want to just read some straight up Halloween books.
Yeah. Do you want any recommendations?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm just going to recommend World War Z?
I could read World War Z.
Because the interview format
Yeah.
really, I think, will just like help you cruise through it.
I really loved that movie, which I know
Actually,
is not the same at all. But
You know what you might prefer? The audiobook of World War Z. Max Brooks plays the interviewer, but then he gets a bunch of different readers to do the interviewees.
That's cool.
So Mark Hamill's in there.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Boy.
He plays Mark Hamill. No.
Do you remember that whole situation with Private Rio / the games?
Where it was like the same book?
The same book with a different title. Well,
Yeah.
guess what?
What?
Here we go.
Okay. By James Patterson.
Yes, by James Patterson, coming to you in a couple months now. Actually, January, I think we're into. Yeah, we have either Private Delhi or Count to 10.
Okay.
And they're both about the character from the Private India books.
Right.
So this is by James Patterson and Ashwin Sanghi. Yes?
What's the point of these
point-
two titles?
I don't know. I don't know if like some of these ones, the Private series has like Private Berlin and Private London, Private India, and Private Australia, or Private Down Under, actually, because of course, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Were originally just released in those places and then later come over here. So I don't know if that's the issue here. So like in that country, it's called Private Delhi. You know, like in India, that's what it's called. And here it's called Count to 10, a more like traditional just book name. I don't know what the deal
silly,
is.
though.
It's very
Just call
confusing.
him private and everything.
I know. It's very confusing.
Anyway.
I'm sorry. But let me read a little bit to you here. Santosh Wah has quit his job as head of Private India after harrowing events in Mumbai almost got him killed. But Jack Morgan, global head of the world's finest investigation agency, needs him back. Jack is setting up a new office in Delhi, and Santosh is the only person he can trust.
Okay.
My sister-in-law read the first of these Private India books and hated it. So, and she was an
Which
old
one did
James
she read?
Patterson fan. Private India.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it was just Private India.
Yep.
So not
Not
Private London.
with a cute little name or something. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Brandon
little name.
Sanderson, Oathbringer. This is part of the Stormlight archive. This is book 3 of the Stormlight
Shoot.
archive.
I got to read the second one.
Yeah, you do. Do you want me to not read this then? I'll give you a
Yeah.
little bit.
No, just a little bit.
All
No,
right.
wait.
In Oathbringer, the 3rd volume of the New York Times bestselling Stormlight archive, humanity faces a new...
Oh no.
Plug your ears.
Okay, I'll plug my ears.
A
and I'll sing
new
a song.
desolation with the return of the Voidbringers, a foe with numbers as great as their thirst for vengeance.
What?
Okay, we're done.
Okay.
So that's coming out. Actually, that's coming out next month.
How'd that sound? Did it sound good?
You sounded, yeah.
No, not me.
Oh, you?
The book.
You sounded great. Is that what you're asking
Thank you.
me?
But how'd the book sound?
Not as good as you're singing.
Thank you.
Large print, folks. Get on the old large print express. Woo!
I don't think you could ever make a Brandon Sanderson novel large print. There just isn't
No.
enough paper in the
Oh,
world.
no.
They
No.
would just because they're already like 1,000 book
Yeah.
tomes as it is.
Yeah.
You
That'd be
you double that size of that font.
Be
Forget
ridiculous.
about it. Yeah.
They'd have to come with like a red wagon to pull behind you
Yeah.
to put that book in. Large print, a gaslight mystery, number 20, Murder in the Bowery. Frank Malloy's latest client is the well-dressed Will Burt.
You have to admit, if it was Murder in the Bowels, it'd be pretty funny if it's a gaslight.
Yeah, that's funny in
thank you.
its way. He's searching for his brother, a newsboy named Freddie, so he can share his new financial good fortune.
Ooh.
Frank makes quick work of the case and locates Freddie, but a happy reunion between brothers.
Is that the first time you've ever seen the word reunion in print?
Happy reunion between brothers is not in the cards.
Oh, okay. Are there ways to have happy reunions with family?
I'm been
Just
told
kidding.
that's true. I
Just
don't know.
Kidding. We all have happy reunions with family.
Do we?
No.
Oh.
I whispered no. So
Oh, okay.
Only a
I
few
heard
people
it.
heard it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Next.
That's it? That's
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's get to the New York Times bestsellers list.
Let's take a look.
It's our favorite bestsellers list. Do you read other bestsellers list?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
Well, I like the Indie Next list, but that's not really a bestseller list. That's
All right. Well,
that's highlighting a smaller.
You broke my point.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So.
Well, it's not a bestseller list, so your point's intact.
Okay. So on the New York Times bestsellers list this week, what is this week, Nick? It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's this week.
Okay.
This is the young adult hardcover fiction, because we love our young adult books here.
Yeah, we do.
Thank you. I was waiting for that confirmation. Number 10, One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. We're looking forward to this book not being on the list anymore, though, because I need Nick to be the one who isn't lying anymore.
Nope. It's never going to happen, my friend.
Number 9, Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare.
I'm the Lord of Shadows.
Number 8, Warcross by Marie Lu. Or Lau. Mm-hmm. I'll leave that to the world to tell me what it is.
I think you should.
Number 7, Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco.
Wonder what that's about.
We talked about this last week on our Sexy New Books episode.
No, we talked about two people just like living their own lives, having fun together.
No, but then they hunt Prince Dracula.
I think I would have remembered that.
Number 6, new this week. There's someone inside your house. And then there's a book I need to tell you about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on, I have to make a call.
Okay.
All right.
The call's coming from inside your house.
What?
By Stephanie Perkins. Makani Young tries to figure out who is behind a string of murders in her high school.
Tell me, who is it?
I don't know.
Just tell me.
You have to read the book.
No, I'm too tense. I can't.
We have our copy here, too. New this week, An Enchantment of Ravens.
An Enchantment
It's actually a
of the
murder
Sea.
of ravens, isn't it? No, it's a murder of crows.
Yeah.
Is a group of ravens an enchantment?
Look,
I
man,
don't think
that's
so.
really your wheelhouse.
Margaret Rogerson. Isabel and Rook find forbidden love in this fantasy novel. I wish my name was Rook. That'd be so cool.
It would be
If I
pretty
was
cool.
Rook Mickles.
I could call you Rook.
No, but then it kind of does sound like a nickname off Eric. Like, hey, what's up, Rook?
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay. Number 4, Wonder Woman Warbringer by
Yeah.
Leah Budago. Have you read this yet? You
No,
haven't
my
started
wife's
it.
just about to finish it. So.
Okay. Is she enjoying it still?
Yeah, she has enjoyed it.
Okay. Well, if I wanted her opinion, I'd ask her.
Yeah.
Number 3, One Dark Throne by Kendra Blake. This has been here for 2 weeks. This is After the Quickening. 3 sisters continue their fight to the death for the crown. Hey, I know you don't like to talk about it.
Okay.
But it's pretty related to this book. Would you like to share your story of when you and your sisters had to fight to the death for the crown?
Oh, yeah. Well, there was this crown.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, I have to get that crown.
Right.
And I was going to do it by myself,
Right.
but I thought, well, then where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I wanted it to be an even fight, so I thought, who better?
Yeah.
So I got my sisters to help.
Yeah.
We had a fight to the death.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we won a crown.
Okay.
And we split it. You know,
Okay.
she gets it for a couple months.
Okay.
I get it for a couple months. The other one gets it for a couple months.
So yours is like the happy, because I'm pretty sure they have to kill each other in this book.
Oh, no,
so
no.
you
we
guys
were a
found
team.
the loophole.
We were a
Very
team.
good,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Number 2, the language, and you have a lot of sisters.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you probably like unevened the fight a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. They never saw it coming.
Yeah.
So.
New this week at number 2, The Language of Thorns by Leah Barago. She's back, right on the list.
Finally have a real sharp wit. Ho!
Language of Thorns. Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Okay.
Oh boy.
You know what doesn't
my
have a
joke
sharp
was
wit?
bad,
Yeah.
but you missing it was worse.
So this is a collection of otherworldly fairy tales. I don't know if this connects to her. She has another series.
Darn it, Eric! What do you know?
Crown of Crows of Thorns.
Just put your head down.
Number 1, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. We have a few copies of this book in our collection as well. Look, man,
Yeah.
I did my best there. I can't remember every young adult
If
book.
that really was your best.
Look, it's 6 of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, so I don't know.
6 of crows, half a dozen of another. Am I right?
Okay. So I don't know if that connects. The Language of Thorns connects to those.
Okay.
But it's not number 1. So that was 3 new. Let's go check out hardcover fiction for the adults, for the grown-ups in our crowd. That's not you, Nick.
Yeah.
You've never grown up.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you've killed for a crown, you might have
Yeah.
grown up a little.
Yeah, it was harrowing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Starting at number 10 for the hardcover fiction for adults. So get out of here, everyone.
Okay.
18 and up. Actually, that brings up a question. Did you read a lot of like adult books when you were young? Can you remember?
No,
any?
I don't think so.
I
No.
think just the 2 Jurassic Park books were it for me.
When I was in high school, I mean, I started too, but like
Right.
much younger than that. No.
Okay. So you didn't start your James Patterson reading at 15.
No, I only read James Patterson a few years ago.
Okay.
Grisham is the one that I started about that age. Yeah.
Why?
Because we were on that. Oh, we've already talked about this. I was on a trip to Florida.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 10 on the New York Times bestsellers list for adult hardcover fiction, Little Fires Everywhere. Mm-hmm. An artist with a mysterious past and a disregard for the status quo upends a quiet town outside Cleveland. Number 9, Enemy of the State by Kyle Mills, writing for Vince Flynn.
Kylo Ren.
Mitch Rapp. This is Mitch Rapp, everybody. Number 8, A Legacy of Spies by John le Carre. Number 7, To Be Where You Are by Jane Karen. So this is Mitford, number 14.
Number 14.
Still no new books this week.
My mother-in-law loves the Mitford series.
Okay.
So there's one person who likes it.
Yeah. Number 6, The Girl Who Takes an Eye for an Eye by David Lagerkrantz, writing for Stig Larsson. Mm-hmm. Number 5, Haunted.
Dragon Tattoo.
What?
I just sang the song Dragon Tattoo because it's the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series.
Number 5, Haunted by James Patterson.
I know him.
And James O'Bourne.
Mm-hmm.
A detective from New York takes his family on vacation in Maine and is enlisted by local cops to help solve a crime in the woods.
Oh.
I would like to imagine he'd be like,
Woods crime.
yeah, okay. I'm just thinking like, he's like, wait a minute. How do I'm in the woods. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If this was on 4th and Maine, maybe, but this is an oak.
Yeah.
That kind of like problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you solve a murder by a creek?
I wish I could tell you.
Yeah. Hudson River, maybe.
Hello.
Right, get me out of this bit, man.
I can't. I just want you to stop.
I just want a slice of pizza.
I hear you.
Not a dead wolf.
All right, our producer said to wrap it up.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I was trapped. Number 4, I felt haunted by that bit.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it. So
Number 4, The Cuban Affair by Nelson DeMille. Nelson DeMille is actually Nick's godfather.
No,
That's not true?
never met the man.
Well, it doesn't mean he's not your godfather.
Yeah, but in this case, it does because he's not.
All right.
So.
Number 3, Nick is very excited for this. A Column of Fire
yeah.
by Ken Follett.
Yes.
This is the 3rd book that started with The Pillars of the Earth.
Yes.
A book Nick finished from page 1 to page 1,000 million.
Page 8,500. Yeah.
So
just keep building that cathedral, you guys.
we got to get it done soon.
Don't leave anything
It's
out.
done.
Don't leave anything out.
Number 2, that's another book where I was more interested in the cause and effect. Like, if we move the marketplace here, it will create this here, and then it will invite...
Can I tell you why that interests you?
Uh-huh.
Because you're an old RPG man.
Son of a gun.
That's why.
Son of a gun. I do love role-playing games. Number 2, Don't Let Go.
I never will.
Don't Let Go.
I can't.
Okay. By Harlan Coben. You know who didn't write this? Rose.
One of us is lying.
Harlan Coben wrote Don't Let Go. This is new this week at number 2. Detective. I've never seen Detective as D-E-T dot.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay.
Pretty common.
Nice.
Incredibly common.
Detective Napoleon Dumas
Dynamite.
investigates a murder and covers clues about the disappearance of his high school love and the death of his twin brother 15 years ago. I wonder if they're connected.
Probably.
Yeah. No, I mean him and his twin.
Oh, no. I don't think so.
Number 1, new this week.
I'm ready.
Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King and Owen King.
Ooh.
In a small Appalachian town, women who fall asleep don't wake up and become shrouded in mysterious cocoons.
Oh, no.
While the men battle one another. Do you think Stephen King was like, I want to write a 3rd Shining book? And Owen was like, I want to write a sequel to Cocoon.
Yeah.
And they found a way to do
exactly what I think happened.
Yeah, it's like, I want to know what happened to Steve Gutenberg after the fact.
Steve Gutenberg.
He's like, no,
Hey.
I want to know what happened to little
I don't.
Danny Torrance.
I hate to break your heart, but there is a sequel to Cocoon.
Yeah, there's Cocoon too.
Yeah.
So they're both bringing their trilogy ideas together. Yeah.
Bringing it to a close.
I know there's a Cocoon too.
This is
Was
nonsense.
Gutenberg in the second one?
No.
So this will be kind of like a homecoming
For Gutenberg?
for
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Tom Selleck and Ted
Do you think
Danson.
they're gonna like Owen King probably could write Gutenberg pretty well though, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Are you gonna
right.
read this then? The
Sleeping Beauties?
The Cocoon Shining
I really
crossover?
hate the movie Cocoon. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but
And you don't really like the Shining movie.
I like it. It's just, it's
just
a
different,
terrible
yeah.
adaptation of the book.
Well, this could bring it around all together for
I think that you should tell people that you're just talking nonsense. It's not a thing. It's not connected to The Shining or Cocoon. It's just a father-son writing experiment.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, 3 men and a baby writing experiment.
No, I can't.
The baby in this case
That's the one
is a book.
That needs a third one. 3 men and a grandbaby, maybe?
Yeah.
You got to complete
It's
that trilogy.
It's 3 men and a baby, then 3 men and a little lady.
Little lady. Yeah.
So you could do 3 men and a...
grandbaby.
Or it could be like a Father of the Bride situation.
Oh.
3 men and a... No, you got... I can't... 3 men and a bride doesn't work.
No.
What would you call it?
That's 3 men and a grandbaby is what I call it.
Okay, you want 3 men and a grandbaby.
Yeah, I do.
That works too.
You got to be realistic.
I just want to like see them like crying at her wedding.
Okay.
Like I want to see like I just want to see.
Maybe it's a shotgun wedding. We both get our wish.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get spooky.
We both get our wish.
Let's get spooky.
I wish this was a shotgun wedding.
Stupid. All right. So we're going to talk about our own personal Halloween reads and watches next week. Possibly with special guest Sally Murphy, if she can work out her schedule, which has known to be a problem in the past.
Yeah.
This week, we're going to talk about some spooky Halloween books that came out in this year. So if you say, oh, hey, Nick, hey, Eric, I've read all the spooky Halloween books from prior to 2017. So how is this going to help me? Well, guess what, sports? This is from this year. Do you have a main place you're going to be pulling your list from of YAs?
I do, but it's included books from last year. So
Okay,
I'm
that's all right.
familiar with the other stuff.
Well, I'm going to be pulling a lot of mine from our friends over at Book Riot. I've got a couple here that I want to talk about. So why don't you hit us up first, Eric? Give us one.
Okay.
A YA book from this year.
I sure will. Say one book from this year.
Thank you.
Crazy House by James Patterson is on this list.
Oh, sure.
Well, not James Patterson.
Gotta have their coffee.
Gabrielle Sharpen.
Gots to have their
Can
coffee.
you just say this last name for me?
No, I don't
You
want
know
to.
what it is?
Nope.
Char Bonnet.
Okay.
Char Bonnet. That's
Okay.
how I'm going to say it now. It's Char and Bonnet.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, that's her name.
Is it?
Yep. It's
Okay.
James Patterson and Gabrielle Charbonnet.
Okay.
And if you don't think so, so we talked about Crazy House last week. I read it. The beginning of it.
I remember.
So that's about the twin sister who gets put into a maximum security prison and put on death row
Okay.
with other kids her age. But the book states that it was the wrong twin.
Okay.
So not really sure how it's going to play out. But this one has been on the New York Times for a while, and this year, so it's supposed to be pretty creepy. I thought it was an insane asylum though myself.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
guess I kind of got that impression.
Always scary. Mm-hmm. Any of us could go there.
Yeah. We could.
So go on. All right.
All right. I'm going to talk about Meddling Kids by Edgar Quintero. Have you heard about this one?
Meddling Kids?
Yeah.
I know I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for them.
wasn't for them. Absolutely. Yeah. So this is like a satire and kind of a send up on horror. So if you.
All right. Go on.
The basic plot: teen detectives reuniting years later to confront the last night they spent together in a haunted house.
Ah! So it.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know about it.
You don't? Okay. All right. I'm going to give you just a little taste of the first paragraph here, okay?
No.
It starts
Please,
when you
it's too
pull the
scary.
lamp chain and light doesn't come. Then you know you'll never wake up in time. You'll not make it to the end of this paragraph alive. Desperate, reassuring thoughts.
Stop!
Try to rise over the panic in your head. It's okay. You don't need lights. You're practically awake already. You're lying on your bed. You can guess the familiar shape of the side lamp in the morning twilight and hear the old radiator clunking in the night.
Nick.
You are safe. It's just that the lamp doesn't work. But you want it to work. You need to dispel the darkness and let certainty outline the room so the things outside know you're awake and won't dare enter. And you pull the chain again and again, and you recall the lamp switch has failed before. Has it? And look, the light bulb really is trying, though it barely manages to seep a wan glow, and it's not enough to flash the room out of the shadows. But who needs more? The lamp says, you're here. This is your room. I'm your lamp. That's your radiator going clunk in the night. That's the same old closed door beyond which things might lurk and breathe skinless and eyeless. But you can rest. We promise we don't exist, really. Lie down.
Wait.
What do you think? Fun, right? Is this... Eric's pretending he's dead, everyone.
I'm not because I didn't make it to the end of the
You
paragraph.
didn't make it to the end of the paragraph.
Yeah, I wasn't pretending.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I was, but
I'm sorry.
whatever.
Well, what did you think? Did you like it?
It was scary. Anything talking about skinless and eyeless things?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I liked it. I liked the tone. I thought that... I think that one sounds kind of interesting. So.
Things that don't have skin are scary all year.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah.
important to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what else you got?
All right. So here's a new book that's coming out, or it is out already. Odd and True Trujan grew up hearing Odette's stories of their monster-slaying mother and magician's curse. But now that True's older... this is by Cat Winters, by the way.
Okay.
Now that True's older, she's starting to wonder if her older sister's tales were just comforting lies, especially because there's nothing fantastic about her own life. Permanently disabled and in constant pain from childhood polio. In 1909, after a 2-year absence, Odd reappears with a suitcase supposedly full of weapons and a promise to rescue True from the monsters on their way to attack her. But it's Odd who seems haunted by something. And when the sisters search for their mother leads them to face off with the Leeds Devil, a nightmarish beast that's wreaking havoc in the mid-Atlantic states. True discovers the peculiar possibility that she and her sister, despite their dark past and ordinary appearance, might indeed have magic after all.
Look out.
So, mid-Atlantic states. So is that like North Carolina?
I don't know. I'm not good at those at all.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't help you.
Okay.
All right.
Is it like Tennessee?
Are you in? Are you going to read this?
Maybe. I'd have to...
Do you like YA, like horror? I don't feel like you've had a good experience with it, but maybe I'm making that
No, it's
up.
always like almost there to being scary, but it has to pull back a little bit because it's for young adults. But I did like the first... what's it called? 13 Days of Midnight?
13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
The next one I'm going to pull here was a finalist for the Chicago Review of Books
Don't you pull
Fiction
anything.
Award
Okay.
By Jacques Jem.
Jacques.
It's a chilling literary horror novel about a young couple haunted by their newly purchased home. Just think if they drove the car Christine. They couldn't...
All bets are
They'd
off.
be totally... it'd
Yeah.
be crazy.
Yeah.
Touring their respective suburban home, Julie and James are stopped by a noise, deep and vibrating like throat singing, ancient, husky,
singing?
and rasping but underwater. That's just the house settling, the real estate agent assures them with a
Oh,
smile.
that's fine.
He's wrong. I know.
What's throat singing sound like?
No.
No.
Okay.
Throat singing.
All right.
Ah.
Okay. So let me give you the first chapter of this.
Okay.
Not the first chapter.
The first chapter?
First little paragraph here.
Which one is it?
And you will survive to the end of the paragraph.
Oh,
I'm
but
gonna
the
tell you that
problem
right ahead.
is, one of us is lying.
Darn it.
Yeah.
Chapter 1. The real estate agent with his waxy hair and perma-smile keeps stopping to listen, waving his hand, saying, that's just the house settling. We think the house seems more than settled and wonder why he's calling so much attention to the sound. And look at the handsome dark wood trim and how many closets are hidden within closets. That's a creepy concept right there.
Closets and closets?
Closets and closets. Crazy.
Closets and closets beat the rest.
And we stare out the picture window at the woods butted up against the backyard, and we probably wouldn't have heard a thing if he hadn't mentioned it.
Yeah.
But we do
That's not
hear a
picture.
noise.
It's a window!
You're really ruining the spookiness of
Sorry,
this paragraph. But we do hear a noise. And now that we're listening, it is unsettling how much it sounds like moaning. But not the bellow of someone in pain, more like an incantation, some sort of ritual snarl. So we look at each bedroom carefully, hoping to be proven wrong about this place, hoping to find something that convinces us the house is not, in fact, exactly what we've been seeking. And we ask the agent if we have to worry about crime living so near the woods, and he explains that the woods are bounded on the other side by a beach, and there's nothing to be afraid of, but waves. And
Beach
we
woods?
smile
No, thank you.
politely. But in our minds, we think, a wave can overwhelm, and a wave can take away. We snag on that, but the agent barrels forward, hustling us to the unfinished basement and pretending not to hear the sound in an obvious way, and he disappears around a corner. We follow him, only to find him gone.
Gone?
I don't know. I'm kind of in.
Hey.
I'm kind of in. It feels like it could go a little pretentious, which I hope it doesn't. But I'm kind of in. What did you think?
Piece of advice. Don't buy a house until you know it's haunted or not.
Yeah.
Like, don't buy a house and then be like, hey, is this haunted?
Yeah.
Do that first.
That's question one.
Yeah.
That's question one.
I don't know how many, like, I don't know. Because ghosts and haunted house do legitimately scare me.
Not me.
Really?
I don't think that's a real thing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, do you believe in ghosts? And I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Huh.
So,
Well, how did you feel about that?
it sounds creepy.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're getting all the wrong answers to all the right questions.
Could be.
And they
It
should be
could
getting,
be.
like, is that something we should worry about? Nah.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
There's a beach over there. You're fine.
Oh, a beach. The woods
yeah.
we're afraid of being murdered in
Yeah.
has a beach.
Yeah.
It's like an ocean. Something just comes out of the ocean and
Right.
it's now in the woods.
It's in the woods.
We got ocean monsters in
It's
the
an
woods.
ocean monster. Sure.
All right.
All right.
Scary.
Yep. I want to take a minute to mention that
right
there
there.
is a new Pete the Cat book.
About
Pete
Halloween?
the Cat, Trick or Pete by James Dean. I was glad to see
James
this.
Dean?
Different James Dean. Because there is a Pete the Cat Halloween book called Five Little Pumpkins, and it's just stupid and annoying. So this new one,
Jeez,
I'm sorry. I love Pete the
mediocrity.
Cat. Kate's just finishing up her Pete the Cat story time, so this is a perfect time. But join Pete the Cat from New York Times bestselling artist James Dean as he goes trick-or-treating in this Lift the Flaps book. Flaps, they're always a crowd pleaser with the children.
Right.
All right, go ahead. Tell me your
Are they
next
really?
one.
Flaps?
Yes.
Oh,
my
that's
goodness.
true. I've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I've got House of Furies here by Madeline Rowe. Madeline Rowe wrote the Asylum series, which is an not older, but I mean, it's not a new series, but it's still very popular. And that was the one about the boarding school that used to be an asylum, but is haunted.
Right, yes.
The summer boarding school. So House of Furies. After escaping a harsh school where punishment was the lesson of the day, 17-year-old Louisa Ditton is thrilled to find employment as a maid at a boarding house. Boarding house is going to be haunted.
Yeah, you don't want to do
but
that.
But soon after her arrival at Cold Thistle House, Louisa begins to realize that the house's mysterious owner, Mr. Morningside, is providing much more than lodging for his guests. Far from a place of rest, the house is a place of judgment, and Mr. Morningside and his unusual staff are meant to execute their own justice on those who are past being saved.
Okay.
Louisa begins to fear for a young man named Lee, who's not like the other guests. He's charismatic and kind, and Louisa knows that it may be up to her to save him from an untimely judgment. But in the House of Distortion and Lies, how can Louisa be sure whom to trust? Featuring stunning interior illustrations from artist Iris Copiet, plus photo collages that bring Cold Thistle House to a chilling life, House of Furies invites readers to a world where the line between monsters and men is ghostly thin. The picture I showed you some of the photos that were in Asylum.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, terrifying.
And
creepy stuff.
A lot of times it was just like, here's a picture of somebody, but we've drawn in pencil in his eyes.
Yeah.
And that's just creepy enough.
That's all
it's
you need.
Why? I can't see his eyes.
That is all you need.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's House of Furies. So you could read that.
How do you feel about it?
I thought Asylum was creepy at the beginning, but around the midpoint, I just kind of tuned out.
We're out. Okay.
And then it just was like, yes, we're really ghosts and we're hanging out now. It was like a step up from Goosebumps. But
I see.
People really like it. So people read the whole series, and there's also a prequel book and a collection of short stories. So
they look intriguing.
Yeah.
They always look intriguing.
Yes. They definitely look like good entry points for teens looking for horror.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
So
makes sense.
Like almost safe horror.
Oh,
I guess.
What a novel idea.
Yeah, they are. They're 5 novels.
All right. I'm going to look at Valley of Terror by Zhu Haohu.
Don't go there.
Sorry. A mysterious fear disease is scaring to death the citizens of Longzhou, China, literally. Victims go insane or die frozen in terror, while survivors rant maniacally about demons infiltrating the city. But what's really behind the sudden epidemic? To find the answers, Chief Inspector Lao Fei teams up with a controversial historian and a brilliant psychologist to track down the truth source of the illness and halt the wave of horror that threatens the metropolis.
Sure.
Are you ready for Chapter 1?
Halt the wave.
Do you want me to go prologue?
Yes.
Okay, then I will start with the prologue, per your request. Prologue. It was nightfall, but the streetlights had not yet been turned on. The sky outside the window was obscured by the figures of trees, making the long, narrow corridor seem even dimmer than usual. The ceiling and walls had been scrubbed to a ghastly shade of white. Combined with the murky gray concrete floor, it gave the entire space an oppressive atmosphere. The clicking of footsteps suddenly cut through the silence. A young woman hesitated at the door from the stairwell, her eyes wide, surveying the dark and eerie passageway. An elderly gentleman outfitted in a white doctor's coat pushed past the young woman. "Come with me." His quick footsteps made not even the slightest sound. The young woman stood still, anxiously watching him disappear into the darkness. Then she hurried to catch up, her heels striking the hard floor. She followed close behind until they reached a dead end. A closed wooden door appeared in front of them. A gentleman took out a key and turned to face the young woman. She bit her lip nervously, then nodded. The elderly gentleman inserted the key into the lock, the slight sound reverberating loudly. The gentleman cleared his throat. A blood-curdling scream tore through the room.
Oh, jeez.
Well, were you scared?
Yeah, you keep picking really scary stuff.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
maybe I can't handle adult horror. Maybe I have to stay with YA.
Maybe
Just
you
be
do.
like, this isn't scary.
Yeah.
I'm not scared.
Yeah.
But then I read the adult stuff and I'm just hiding under my bed. Mm-hmm. Is hiding under your bed really? I mean, no.
No.
If I was
They
afraid
know.
of ghosts,
They know
I would
about
not
that.
want to hide under my bed.
They know exactly where to look.
Yeah, ghosts. Yeah.
They look right under
Because
your
they
bed.
just come right up from the floor.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I didn't even have to.
Yeah.
I didn't have to bend down. I'm still standing. I'm
Okay.
a ghost.
Yeah. All right, what else you got?
Are you gonna read any of these? You were intrigued by the first one.
Yeah, the first two actually. The first one is, I think, more like a goofy. The grip of it, actually, that kind of got me. I do kind of want to read it now.
All right. Here, I got one more.
Okay.
I think we should look at "There's Someone Inside Your House"
Ooh.
by Stephanie Perkins because it's on the bestsellers list.
Sure.
Let's see what the description has to say about it. It's been almost a year since Makani Young came to live with her grandmother in landlocked Nebraska. She's still adjusting to her new life and still haunted by her past in Hawaii.
Okay.
That already sounds a lot like Girl Out of Water, if you remember. So I don't know if this is going to be about her learning to skateboard instead of surf.
Okay.
But it could be. Then, one by one, the students in her small town high school begin to die in a series of gruesome murders, each with increasing and grotesque flair. As the terror grows closer and the hunt intensifies for the killer, Makani will be forced to confront her own dark secrets. So Stephanie Perkins had originally written Anna and the French Kiss. And this is her new take on a classic teen slasher story that's fun, quick-witted,
Oh, sure.
and completely impossible to put down. So Courtney Summers of All the Rage and Cracked Up to Be says, "There's Someone Inside Your House" is heart-pounding page-turner with an outstanding cast of characters, a deliciously creepy setting, and an absolutely merciless body count. Best read at night with a big bowl of popcorn. This is a killer addition to the slasher genre, written by one of the best contemporary YA writers around. Booklist says, Perkins deftly builds the suspense like a pro. An uneasy opening leads to some legitimately horrifying murders.
Ooh.
And the identity of the killer isn't quite as important as the motivation.
No, it's sure
Readers
not.
will be sleeping with one eye open.
Ooh.
And then Publisher Weekly says, Perkins lulls readers into a false sense of security before twisting the knife. The body count keeps rising, leading readers with questions of motivation and where it will all end. Here's what I don't understand.
Okay.
We know the book is killing teenagers gruesomely. What's false security are you being led into?
I have no idea.
Certainly,
Seems like they tell you right
not
from the
another
beginning.
teenager.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. My false sense of security broken.
So did any of these actually, you think any of these are going to pierce your Halloween reading list?
Out
Are
of
you
the
gonna try
YA
to
ones.
squeeze one in?
I guess I'm going to have to look at reviews for the... I probably won't read the Madeline Rao one because I have read Madeline Rao.
Right.
So it's either do I want to read a James Patterson Presents or this gruesome murder book. And I don't love murder, so I'm kind of anti-murder.
Are you?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know. You remember us reading the beginning of Crazy House? It was a lot about just like, my sister stole my truck. Where is it? I'm so mad at her.
Right.
So we'll see. I don't know.
Okay.
There's a few other YA spooky books I probably get to before these ones. We've got the Anna Dressed in Blood book to read and The Girl from the Well.
Creepy.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, I think The Grip of It is the
I
only
might
one that really pushed me over the
read-
edge. But I want to read Sleeping Beauties
I
too.
might read Hunting Prince
I
Dracula.
gotta hurry. We gotta cut this right now.
Yeah, you
so
gotta
that I
start
can
reading.
read all these books.
Yeah.
You're gonna read book 2 without reading book 1?
Yeah.
You love Jekyll and Hyde, though.
No, it's not Jekyll and Hyde. It's Jack the Ripper.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. You love Jack the Ripper.
I'm not in love with him.
No, but you are in love with him.
No, but I'm in love with the mystery of him. Like,
see.
Could somebody like him love me in return? That's what.
For
that's
a little
what
while, and then
yeah,
you're dead.
yeah.
All right. Well, next week we're going to talk the real spooky stuff. Probably not. We'll just talk. But we'll have to get Sally to tell us a little bit about the It adaptation.
No,
Because
I don't want to hear about
You can
it.
leave the room.
Okay.
You can leave the room, and Sally can just tell me about
Just
it.
tell you,
Yeah.
you're gonna listen to the It.
Yeah, I'll
You
hear.
didn't
I'll hear
even want
her
to watch
review.
the trailer.
No, I don't want to watch that trailer. For heaven's sakes, no way.
Okay.
No way. We've got a busy month and a half coming up here at the David A. Howe
We gotta
Public
go see
Library.
Medea Boo, the second Halloween Medea film.
Got to see the first one.
Oh, you haven't seen the first one?
I haven't seen the first
All
one,
right,
no.
Medea Boo Halloween marathon.
I love it.
Go on now.
All right. Now, on October 12th, we have a great program sponsored by the Allegheny Arts Association. Casual Reply is doing a John Denver tribute. Multimedia, very talented duo.
They are going to take us home.
They will. Come check it out at 7 o'clock. The Genesee Valley Chorus is coming October 20th and 22nd. And then, of course, we have our big author visit, Naomi Shihab Nye, the 27th of October. And we will be doing a spotlight on her in the next coming week. So if you're a fan, let us know. We want to hear your thoughts on
Naomi Shihab Nye.
Please send it Shihab.
What time? Shihab, sorry.
It's October 27th at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Absolutely free. Sponsored by the Friends of the Library in Houghton College. If you want to come to a very elegant reception afterwards, it is. Yeah. Catered by the Duke House, and I've seen the menu, and
delicious.
I'm every year we do this, I always just sit there, and I help with the book signing. I never get to eat any food. Yeah. This year, Papa's going to eat some food because it sounds great.
I'm going to make sure you don't get any.
So we're going to have live music. Duke House is going to do a great job. Yep. The author will be here. You can get your book signed. You can say hello, whatever you want. That's $25. But to come to the talk, totally free. If you want to stick around for the reception, $25. But I encourage you to do so because it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
So that's the big
by
stuff.
all.
Yep. That's absolutely right. So, I guess that's pretty much it for episode 112. Anything you want to add?
Where can people find us, Nick?
Oh, well, Eric, I'm glad you asked. They can find us on Facebook at the David A. Howe Public Library.
Yeah.
They can find us on Twitter at All the Book Show. They can find us at soundcloud.com/allthebooks or any place you find your podcast. Just put in All the Book Show and you will find us. Yeah. You can listen to us and tell your friends and rate us and review us and send me $5.
What?
Yeah.
Listen, everybody, the sending Nick $5
to the David A. Howe Public Library.
The library accepts donations.
Yeah.
Please do not send Nick any personal donations.
That's fair.
We can't actually endorse that on the show.
That's
fair. He would accept them,
and
but you shouldn't send him.
Turn it over to the library.
I would hope so. Yes.
All right. Next week's going to be spooky, so be prepared.
Yeah.
And we'll see you.
Spooky.